Guy went to Spencer's terminal, not enjoying the heat of a coat on over his clothes and the invisibility suit, especially with his tummy bloated. But, he thought, some discomfort was par for the course on an adventure. One cannot expect saving the world to be all rainbows and kittens and hugs. As he zeroed in on his prey, he felt the eyes of all the others watching. It was an uncomfortable being a star, either being in the spotlight or their sights, but he reminded himself that if all went well, nothing would matter after tomorrow afternoon. He heard them murmuring as he approached the terminal, and Spencer seemed to prick up his ears. Turning, the techie's eyes went wide like a deer in the headlights. Guy remembered to put on his 1,000-watt smile. "Spence, buddy old pal, I need a favor. You don't mind, do you? I have to borrow your computer a sec." "What? No, wait a minute. Just let me see if my old login still works." Guy's momentum bore him past Spencer's guard and onto the keyboard, where he logged out of the techie's account and tried to sign in with a fictitious username and password. Spencer looked up helplessly at all the others, meeting their harsh, judgmental eyes, and he tried to work up the nerve to tell Guy to get lost. But Guy was frowning at the monitor and chewing on his lower lip. Fox said. "Damn, it didn't work." "Okay, thanks." He stood up and backed away, while Spencer sighed heavily and shook his head in passive-aggressive annoyance. As his fingers stretched over the keyboard to log back in again, Guy cut his eyes sideways down at them and blinked once. Deep inside his mind, the little red light of a camcorder came on. When they tore Valentina's hood off, she knew they didn't care if she saw what they looked like. She thought of all the things people do while being interrogated in movies, spitting in the torturer's face and stuff like that, and was pretty sure that it was expected of her. She couldn't be like everybody else. When they yanked her to her feet and strung her up by her wrist from the ceiling, she thought about trying to strangle at least one man with her legs. But then she realized she should have gone to the gym more often. The nearest man produced a high-voltage cattle prod, and he clicked the button on the handle, making a bright blue line arch between the electrodes at the other end. Her face lit up in the flash of blue light. Wait, stop," she said. They grinned at one another, relishing the moment. The nearest one raised his eyebrows interrogatively at her. Involuntarily, her lip curled at him in disgust. "What's it called when someone's getting tortured?" she asked, "and she falls in love with her torturer?" They laughed, and the closest one leered at her, shrugging. "Stockholm Syndrome?" he said. "Yeah, well, just so you know, you're going to have to do a lot worse than this because damn, you're ugly." The jackal's leer faded and his eyes grew cold, while all the others laughed. He raised his electrified rod. "Holy Mary, Mother of God," she whispered, closing her eyes. "Pray for us sinners, now," and then all she could do was scream. "Hey, I'm going to go make some coffee," Guy told Spence, his old buddy, as a way of smoothing things over. "Want one?" Spencer sulked for a moment and made a show of talking himself into it before reluctantly saying, "Sure." "Great. You like it with 2 sugars and a teaspoon of non-dairy creamer, if I'm not mistaken." Spencer did a slow turn and looked warily up at him. With a smile that he intended to be warm and friendly, Guy winked, and it came off as chilling. He turned and strolled off toward the break room, with all eyes watching him go. Spencer shuddered. A few minutes later, he felt a presence near him that made the short hairs prickle on the back of his neck. Thinking it was Guy, he turned, expecting coffee, and he was startled to see that he was alone. Except for his colleagues, nearby on their own computers, there was no one. Then it hit him, a horrible stench that made him gag. "Jesus," he said, starting to stand up. Remembering, he sat back down and logged out, leaving a blue screen, the eagle's head over a white shield, a red starburst in the center, and got up to hurry away. Some of the others followed him with their eyes before they smelt it also, and grimaced. One by one, they left their posts and went to the break room, where a fresh pot of coffee awaited them all. The seat of Spencer's chair sank a little bit and creaked as it rolled forward. Some of the buttons on his keyboard clicked and asterisks appeared in the username and password fields. Enter. "Welcome back, Spencer Irvine."